only thing heading to Florida faster than Hurricane Ian is him as soon as his kids graduate high school. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. The church is going to mandate you get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. I love that about you, right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
And Baldwin.
The day my kid went punk.
Yeah. All right. Well, a lot of show planned as per usual. I have some car-related stuff to get into, but philosophical, not technical.
Like the Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance, like that type of thing? Okay.
I was speculating as I was talking on my podcast about automobiles, which is
called the Adam Carolla Show?
Yeah, CarCast and the Adam Carolla Show. I was saying if you're driving an electric vehicle, there's going to be a lot more speeding tickets given out.
Okay.
I have driven an electric, a loaded a Tesla with the yoke steering wheel and everything. And first off, it's instant acceleration.
Right.
So if you are traveling along at highway speeds, if you're going along at 55 and the speed limit is 65, when you're in your internal combustion vehicle, you give it gas and it makes a noise.
Yeah.
So, like there's some feedback. Sometimes it'll go into the passenger, like, and you're pretty aware that now I am speeding because the car is telling me I'm speeding. I can hear it, what it's doing. The electric car is silent. It also has a space age vibe to it, kind of difference between traveling in a jet airplane versus a propeller airplane where it's like you could feel everything and hear everything. So that's a feeling of safety, technology. There's no sound and instant acceleration because electric motors are instant torque. That's why everyone falls off the back of golf carts. Everyone piles onto a golf cart. There's two guys in the back facing the other direction. The guy hits it, boom, you all fall. It's very easy to be going 85 and feeling like you're flying, but nothing. They're the same feeling you have in a Southwest flight where you're going 550 miles an hour. You're just sitting there. It has that there's no wind whistling through the cracks in the wind wing in the window or anything. You don't have the sensation of speed that you have.
You're not hearing a gear shift.
And it's instant torque. So from, 55 to 85 is nothing. It just feels like nothing. It sounds like nothing. And before you know it, you're just trucking along at 85 miles an hour. And it feels about right. As a matter of fact, it feels like you could go 120 without an issue if there's no traffic about. And I then said, there's going to be a lot more speeding tickets given out to people who've been they spent their whole life in an internal combustion automobile. 2 years ago, they went over to electric, and they're going to be speeding.
Yeah.
And we're not going to adjust the speed limit. We're just going to give them in the Tesla the speeding tickets. So I said, is there any data on this? And there's data out of the Netherlands because they're probably early money on the electric cars.
They're just better. 66%
of plug-in vehicles and drivers got speeding tickets over the last year versus 28% of the gas-powered vehicles.
There you go.
That's
significant.
That's significant. I mean, that is over twice. And so I think there's going to be more of it. I think you're just going to see. Now, I don't think anyone's going to say anything. It's going to be more revenue. I don't think there's going to be any talk about adjusting the speed limit or anything like that. I've long said that if you can give a motorist a ticket for driving at an unsafe speed, even if it's below the speed limit, there's a torrential rainstorm and you're just going, I'm 65, man. That's what the thing's posted. Right. You can go, yeah, but under these conditions, that is not safe. We're giving you a ticket. If there is such a thing as that ticket, which there is, it should be a 2 goddamn way street. I should be able to go, I'm going 85 in a loaded fucking Tesla and I can't see another car around me. Yeah. So why is that? Using your logic of under, why isn't my safe over?
Because fuck you.
That's right.
Feel free.
We're generating revenue for the city. All right. So be prepared for that. And those with the electric car, especially who did not grow up driving an electric car, which is everybody, be prepared to be hauling ass on the freeway, not feeling like a thing is going on. Also, there's an element of, I'm driving an electric car, city of Los Angeles. Aren't we kind of on the same team here? Like, what do you want to monkey with me for?
I'm helping the cause overall.
Right.
We have also figured out very quickly the empty bag versus the checking account citizens. And the guy driving the loaded Tesla is definitely in the business of cutting checks to the city. So that'll be a lot easier versus the gardening truck, which is exceeding the speed limit. All right. Another reason everyone hates me is I told you I was sitting down to do the Peyton Manning interview all about the history of the car, where he did not attend, nor was he represented in a video. But there I was being asked 2 hour and 15 minutes sit down about cars. I got tired of talking about cars at a certain point. That's how long this was. But at a certain point, they pick out their cars, they do their info, they do their research, they put their segment producers on it, and blah, blah, blah. And the guy goes, there's a Ferrari 550. Porsche 550. That's the James Dean car.
Okay.
Little bastard, he called it. Had it written on the trunk lid. Little, low horsepower, kind of nimble, little miniature Porsche from the 50s that James Dean was killed in because it's too low and kind of invisible to the big Buick that ran over him. But they said, that car, what about that car? Well, it's innovative and it's very German and there's a lot to like about that car. But it's only got a 1.5 liter motor in it, which is very small, but it's very lightweight, so it's kind of nimble. And then the guy said, there's James Dean. Last picture of him in front of the gas station. You can see that car versus cars of the day.
Sure.
Big
mismatch.
Old piles of rolling steel that were 6,000 pounds and his little aluminum skin space framed little
It looks like
Porsche.
The top peeled back on a sardine can.
Yeah, so that's why he was killed instantly. But then the guy who was interviewing me said the 550, James Dean's car, that model of Porsche, comes first and second at Le Mans, wins Le Mans outright in 1954. And I said, that doesn't sound right. And he said, well, that's what we researched. And I said, I'm not an expert in that car. I like Le Mans. I don't really go back that far into the 50s. I'm more of a 60s, 70s, maybe 80s guy. But first and second overall, I don't think so. And he said, well, that's what the researchers said. Yeah. And I said,
rich history of that's what the researchers
first
said.
And second in its class, but not overall. And he said, well, we researched it. I said, go research it. We'll wait. Get the guy with the phone. And he said, well, let's just move on. And I said,
fuck that.
I don't want to say first and second overall. I don't feel like that's right. You guys researched it. You're the ones with the computer, but I happen to know something, and that doesn't feel right. And he said, well, whatever. Overall, whatever. We moved on. But I was not done.
No.
So I told the guy to look it up. He didn't really want to look it up. But I then went and looked it up. So
Motivated.
1954 Le Mans finish. Number one overall, Scuderia Ferrari 375 with a 5-liter engine. And number one overall. Number two, Jag D-Type. Number three, Cunningham. Number four, another Jag C-Type, another Cunningham C4R. And fifth overall, a Gordini, a Bristol, a DB, whatever. Now we're getting into 11th place, a Nash, whatever. Porsche 550, 12th overall.
Oh.
And the other one that finished right behind it actually finished in 14th place. So not
go shop first.
They got the 1 and 2 off, they got the overall off, and they got the whatever off. I am telling you, when you watch shows about some subject you know about, they will be wrong about everything because this is how they roll, how it works every single time. So I figured somewhere in the top 5 or 7 or something, but now 12th and 14th overall for the James Dean mobile, which had a curse to it and has never been found.
Didn't the axle get found or so? Was that in the same car?
Right. Wasn't it like on display?
They auctioned off the transaxle, which is the transmission with the axle attached to it, which they do in those rear-mounted cars that way and other cars, on Bring a Trailer a year ago for $280,000 $3,000 or something like that. The engine was like sold to some doctor, and then he died in the car. Then the passenger who did live in the car, I think, died in the car, and then the car went to George Barris, maker of the Monkeys Mobile and the Batmobile and all that. And he toured the wreck around to high schools, and then it got stolen in Florida and it's never been seen again. So that's an interesting story. It also made me think of, did we need all the blood on the asphalt, or a lot of dragging in the 50s? No, in the 60s and the 70s and into the 80s. There's a lot of dragging wrecked cars into parking lots of high schools going, you could have been in that car, or showing gory black and white pictures of people strewn about the highway after being ejected from their car. This guy came through the windshield. Like, I get it.
I'm sufficiently horrified.
Yes, I'm sufficiently horrified.
I get
We're
it.
good. We don't have to show people bleeding out on the highway. Just put your seatbelt on. That'll suffice.
Did anyone else get more visceral when they would put you in a little, kind of like a half a refrigerator box with a steering wheel, and then you would watch the screen and steer along with it? And
you
then,
had a simulator.
if you can call it that.
Yes.
And then be, mangled and mauled on the highway. I
never got to that. We didn't have that kind of technology.
Must have been new.
We just had Mr. Gregory failing me.
Wow.
Failed me.
Does he know you're into driving race cars now? He's probably long dead.
Oh, God, I hope he's gone. I remember so distinctly entering that class in the second semester of the 10th grade, turning 16 May 27th that year. So I would have turned 16, then graduated the class in a week, and then gone and taken my driver's test.
Glorious.
Instead, an F from Mr. Gregory. Attended dutifully.
Not even a D.
Yeah, what did you
How do you
defend
fail
him?
to
Yeah.
accumulate enough points?
Well, this is the calculation that I made, and it's my fault to a large degree, and it's a story to share with your kids, or find a mirror and share it with yourself. I was doing some calculating. So, Mr. Gregory, first things first, I drew short straw. There was Mr. Smith, Gary Smith, the cool football coach with the handlebar mustache, who loved me because I was on the football team. They both taught driver's ed.
Yeah. 50-50.
Mr. Gregory taught like history, but then he teach driver's ed. And he taught phys ed, and then he taught driver's ed. So it was
Gary.
it's a coin toss as to whether I was getting Gary Smith, the cool guy, or the fucking horrible guy, who I didn't know was horrible at the time. But I drew short straw, and I just got Mr. Gregory. And then I sat in Mr. Gregory's class, and Mr. Gregory was a bizarre guy, had a weird kind of puby comb over, sort of 70s, 80s hair with a bad mustache, and would talk very quietly, so much so that you couldn't even hear him, and then would have big outbursts. He'd mumble, and then he'd have the outburst.
What was that about?
I'm unable to control the pitch or volume of my voice.
Yes, that was
Jesus.
Mr. Gregory. So he struck me as weird. And then he said he was going to break from curriculum because, by law, it was just a driver's ed class. You had to show up, you had to take the test, and if you passed, whatever you passed with, you got to go take driver's training. I was going to take driver's training privately, probably, because I should have taken driver's ed in the first semester and driver's training in the second semester. But now I would have had to wait the whole summer, and that would not do. It would definitely do with my kids, who don't appear to have an interest in getting a driver's license, or any young people today. But for me, it meant independence. So I sat in the class, and he then explained that he was going to require a 10-page typed report on seatbelts or crumple zones or passive restraints or whatever he wanted. And I immediately thought to myself, it's not.
How could that possibly happen?
Not going to happen. I don't own a typewriter. I don't know how to spell. This is never going to work. Laszlo Gorog, my grandfather had a typewriter. Maybe I could, with the language barrier, but...
And this is the one class you should have been safe from a 10-page type report.
Yes, but he decided to pull that one out of his ass. That was not part of Gary Smith's curriculum. That was Mr. Gregory's curriculum. So I said, I thought to myself, well, that's not going to happen. But then I thought, look, I'm early into the second semester of my high school experience, 10th, 11th, and 12th. I'm in 6 semesters. I'm early into the second, and I've already given up on the GPA. This thing's out the window.
Irreversibly tainted.
And there's nothing we can do about it. It's not coming back like when Goodfellas when they're talking to De Niro. I was fresh off my triumphant failure in Mr. Diliberti's biology class, and it was abundantly clear that the GPA was already in the garbage before the ship had set sail.
Sure.
So I said to myself, well, that's fine. I will not turn in this paper because I cannot produce this paper. And he will give me a D because I will show up every class and take all the quizzes. And then I'll just sail off with my low GPA to the next destination, which will be driver's ed. He did warn, to be fair to him. He said, you do not turn this in. You will not pass this class. I heard him, and I was like,
challenge accepted.
He's going to see me here. He's not going to want to see me again.
They're going to call your bluff.
And he's going to give me a D minus or UU, and he's going to just let me go. And we got to the end, and he said, you did not turn that paper in. Oh. And I was like, yeah, okay. So just, and he's like, that's a fail. So whatever you've been doing, the entire semester you sat here taking driver's ed as all for naught. You have nothing.
Brutal.
So then I took my birthday money from turning 16 and gave it to like this off
16 nickels.
This off from Pat Bruno.
That's right.
I gave the $70 to the 3-day crash course driving school in a horrible strip mall in Van Nuys across the street from the Van Nuys DMV. And I just sat there with like-minded losers, the dregs of society, all the horrible students, all the folks who struggled with English, all the people who got, a DUI for driving a tractor.
Your people.
Yeah, we just sat there in this little hot, unair-conditioned box while some guy just sort of hastily squeezed an entire semester into 3 8-hour days. And walked across the street, got my permit, and then I was off and running. Although later I had to then pay for the driver's ed, which was our driver's training, which was another 3-day crash course, pardon the pun, of some off-market, Armenian guy coming by the house. I mean, we stopped at we just drove around places he wanted to go, and at some point we stopped.
Pull over at John's.
Stopped at a Hollywood 7-Eleven. He bought porn. He bought porn that was 3D porn. 3D
with the glasses.
Came with the glasses.
Nice.
You don't put the glasses in. There's going to be a lawsuit. And then we sat in a Chevette, like in the parking lot. It's like, hey, check this out. But use the glasses.
He sized you up pretty close.
Well, these days we'd call that pedophiles grooming a minor, but
that's true.
I needed a certificate. If he needed a blowjob and I needed a certificate, then that's roller skate and key for me, baby.
You can write 10-page paper,
Gregory missed out on a hell of a blowjob too.
The lead that you didn't bury, because we know that under no circumstances would your parents have done this, but I was by no means spoiled. I was just like a kid, whatever, all good. If I would have failed that class, I think it would have never occurred to my parents to get me to use my birthday money to pay for a redo. They'd pay for it and yell at me. I wouldn't pay for it.
The emotional cost.
It was I was convinced by that point in my relationship with my parents that there was Christmas money, birthday money, and then no other money. So they duped me into thinking that they physically didn't have it. So the only money would have been my birthday money, because if I would have said, what about your money? They would have said, what money?
Right.
And that would have been the end of that discussion.
Wow.
The irony is they're probably just as motivated as you to get you out of the house.
True.
You know what I mean? Push comes to shove, they probably would have ponied up for that class.
Yeah, they could have done that with college, possibly as well. But
slippery slope.
Yes. Next thing you know, you're eating dinner together. So that was how that turned out to be. But then famously, on my first appearance on Letterman, when I did a Letterman for the first time, I did call out Mr. Gregory and tell him to kiss my ass and tell him I took a limo. I don't need a license. They send a limo to pick me up. Yeah.
Did anyone reach out to you after that? Anyone from the school? Anyone from the old days?
After Letterman?
Yeah.
No, I don't recall.
Shocking.
I don't recall that. There's surprisingly little reaching out. LeVar Burton reached out to me once.
What?
Well, to slap your hand. I don't know if that counting as reaching out.
Wait a
He
second.
contacted me, Brian.
That's true.
I don't remember
You
this.
got me there.
We were doing movies men don't want to see, and
right.
his was like Frontier Love or something.
Yeah.
He was
not a fan.
He was in a relationship with Dick Van Patten, and they're frontiersmen, and it was during a segment of movies men don't want to see. Chris can look it up. I don't know what it was called. Frontier something. Anyway, it implied he was gay.
I get it.
So he wanted to know what was going on.
Sure.
I told him.
He said, knock it off.
Yeah, I was like, Dick Van Patten never called. You know? I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I would always say, that was someone else's whatever, but it was my idea, I'm sure.
Sure.
I would write quite a few of those movies men don't want to see. Well, speaking of the Man Show, we do have the touchdown dance that we spoke of
All right.
yesterday. And I described it as best I could. Jimmy chronicled it on the Howard Stern show, but this is a short version of as I was trying out with the Raiders back when they were in Oakland when I was doing the Man Show.
Leafing through the paper.
Squatting, leafing through the paper, really
Struggling, straining.
bearing down.
They clipped off the part where I got back to my sports page, but
That's good.
that was about it. I
really
forgot that at the beginning of that bit, I went to Lee Steinberg's office when he was like
The super agent?
super agent. Yeah, he couldn't act, as I recall. He's an interesting dude. He had himself some trials and some tribulations. Lee Steinberg was the biggest sports super agent, in the world.
Yeah.
Like a Jay Moore, Toby Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
Yes,
Yes.
Supposedly he was a model for
Got
character.
it.
Yeah, he was a mega guy, and
He had some personal issues.
I went to
Like
his.
He recovered from. He had addiction issues.
Yeah, I had some alcoholism or something, lost everything, rebuilt. Very interesting story. I've interviewed the guy before. But I forgot that the beginning of that bit was me in his office running around, knocking stuff over.
You're a Terry Tate.
Yeah, office linebacker.
He's no Baby Doll Dixon.
Although you know what? It'd be tough. It'd be interesting to see who's made more money for their clients over the years.
Yeah.
It's got to be close.
It's got to be close, but I think Lee Steinberg is just, he
Just
handled
the sheer volume of
everybody.
athletes,
So I'm curious. There's this horrible video going around of this poor woman who was beaten up on a subway. More just crazy New York, scary street crime stuff from guys that have long rap sheets, just attacking people. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I haven't.
She's walking. It's like 5:15 in the morning. She works at LaGuardia or JFK. She works for the airlines.
Security at JFK.
Oh, boy.
So here's the news station doing an explanation of what happened with the video.
We are going to begin this evening with a vicious attack that again raises questions about the criminal justice system. A woman on her way to work at Kennedy Airport was
dragged and
pummeled to the
thrown.
ground, punched, and then kicked at the air train station in Howard Beach.
Multiple
This video
punches. A guy
is from
runs
security
in. The guy
cameras
stops.
at that station.
He menaces
Police
the guy.
did make an arrest,
Then this
and it
part.
turns out the suspect has a long history of attacking people.
Oh,
the
kicks her
victim
in the
spoke
face.
exclusively to
Over and
Eyewitness News
over.
reporter
Big
NJ
soccer-style kicks
He
to the
doesn't
head.
appear to be interested in robbing her. He is lingering to
Yeah.
beat her more.
Yeah, the guy was convicted of killing his grandmother when he was 14.
Yeah,
That's it. That's all we need to know.
Yeah. That's not.
Yeah, you kill my grandmother,
That's
we
the
can
law.
talk.
Right.
Or maybe Brian's
Yeah, I
will
was
show
gonna say, I
some
understand,
leniency,
yeah, I
but
understand some things.
your grandmother.
Oh, I'd be rip shit.
That's right.
So the suspect, 41-year-old Wahid Foster, has a lengthy criminal history, including a bust for beating his grandmother to death in 1955 when he was just 14.
55.
No.
That can't be right.
Oh, sorry, 1995. Sorry, I was trying to have the audio stop here. The grandma had 20 broken ribs, a stab wound in the leg, and a punctured liver. He was living with his grandmother at the time of her death and confessed
Thanks for nothing.
days
Yeah.
after the fatal encounter. And Foster was also arrested in 2010 for stabbing a 50-year-old woman in the cheek and the shoulder.
With a screwdriver, I think.
Yeah, the violence occurred at a mental institution where he punched two other
Yeah,
people.
This is not a well.
He's on parole until 2024 for that assault. Other prior arrests include assaulting a woman with a screwdriver, criminal mischief, robbery, and larceny.
All right, listen, I know everyone wants to defund the police and put all the poor, innocent black people that are incarcerated for low-level drug crimes out on the street. Okay, fine. Not these people.
No,
not these people. These people are just wandering around insane. I mean, a vicious attack. It looked like, first off, no history with this person. It's as if he finally caught up to the guy who molested their daughter or something.
Right.
And no motive. He wasn't going for a purse.
No.
He just hung out and kicked her.
Threw her in, threw body punches. But here's kind of my question. A guy did show up on the scene. So what he did is he broke his assault up into two parts. First part, drag her across. I mean, can you imagine how traumatized this person is?
Never leave the house again.
Drag this person across the subway and throw her into a kiosk. I mean, slam her head against the wall. Then just open up with the punches. Oh, and a big
Stomped
stomp
her.
kick. All right. Now, part two is even worse because he then throws huge kicks to her head. I mean, just pounding. She's going to lose an eye out of it. He just relentlessly stomping her head. By the way, you need to be put down like a rabid dog. Like there's something wrong with you. We can't have you amongst other human beings. If this is a person you don't know, imagine if you had a beef with somebody, how you would settle this.
Or the grandma, someone who loved you and housed
Right.
you.
All right. So number one. But number two, a citizen, a male, looked to be a youngish male, seemed to be of decent stature, showed up and he stopped. And then the male took off and ran. And then the real damage started because that's where the stomps, I mean, these are big time soccer kicks to the head of a thin woman who was laying defenseless on the ground. I would reckon that the punches were, probably caused some damage, but the last few 8 kicks to the head, that's probably where that's where the orbital socket was cracked. Now he stopped. And the citizen, he kind of rushed in, like, what's going on? And then the guy menaced him, and he hightailed it out of there. I think we're getting to the place where if we'd like to defund the police and we'd like to clear out the prisons, we're going to have to start deputizing some citizens because there evidently is not enough cops and there's not enough prisons anymore. Like, people are going to have to start doing things. Hey, it's a tall order.
I was going to say, it sounds great in the moment. How many of us in this world, are going to jump in and physically intervene? We have the best of intentions, but that's the moment.
There's another guy, I forgot at the very beginning of the video, there's a guy just sort of hightailing out of it. Look, I'm sorry, but at a certain point, there's a woman who's going to be beat to death. Like, you're just going to need to get involved. It's a tall order. I get it. Lots of tall orders in life. We're just going to have to start getting involved. He is stomping her in the head now. Now, the fact that this guy's a long criminal history. Listen, everybody. All the people that are doing all this shit have long criminal histories. It's all of them. It's not people that woke up for the 43rd birthday and decided to try to kill people they didn't know with their hands and feet. It is long criminal histories. We got to get involved with this. If it's tax evasion, if it's welfare fraud, if it's selling dime bags, fine. If it's killing your grandmother with your fists, I'm sorry. You've proven that you're not worthy to reintegrate into society.
You're violent and you're out of your mind.
All right, we have the Dick Van Patten movie.
Wow,
man.
What
Sharp pivot.
I was going to say, what a gear shift.
Movies men don't want to see, and this is why LeVar Burton called me.
There you go.
Well, that's why I called. I want to know what was up. I was like, well, we have to pick somebody, LeVar.
Yeah.
It's
You should be
interracial,
happy.
so it's limited.
Right. Everybody
know.
likes him.
Everyone likes him.
You should be thrilled. He's still in the zeitgeist.
Right.
That's what I
Along
wish
with
you were
Dick Van
with me,
Patten.
Brian. All right. Let me tell you about Simply Safe. Nothing matters more than the safety of your loved ones, but old school home security companies use outdated technology, overcharge you, and lock you into multi-year contracts. That's why I use Simply Safe. Peel and stick. Batteries last up to 10 years. No pulling wires. Set it up yourself in half an hour. Order it online. Get the exact set you need, how many doors and windows and cameras and motion detectors, 24/7 professional monitoring. Simply Safe's agents dispatch police and first responders the moment a threat is detected. Even if you're not home or can't be reached, customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/Adam. Save 20% when you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan and get your first month for free. Just visit simplysafe.com/Adam to learn more. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Matt Bilinsky, who's a tech, business, and media attorney, had been tweeting out some stuff that was trending about LA Times, and I was actually talking to another attorney, Mark Garagos, about the LA Times and where it's going and who owns it and how it's being run. So we'll get into that with Matt right after this.
In the spirit of Murrow, Jennings, Cronkite, here's another great moment in local news.
See this? Melbourne, Daytona Beach, all the way up to Jacksonville. This moves 20 miles to the west, and you and everyone you know are dead. All of you. Because you can't survive it. It's not possible unless you're very, very lucky. And your kids die too.
That's a great moment in local news. Now, back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Debbie Downer. Matt Bilinsky's our guest, tech business media attorney. He's got a podcast out called The Prevailing Narrative, and graduated from UCLA Law School as a BA in history from Cornell. And we were watching your tweets go around because it was on my radar because of Mark Garagos, who you probably heard of. Sits in here every other week and goes, what the fuck's going on with the Los Angeles Times? And I grew up in Los Angeles. If you want to know what was going on, you just read the newspaper, and that is what was going on. And now they've drifted into some other direction.
Yeah, the LA Times, as many media publications are, owned by a wealthy person, and also as many media publications have taken a bit of a left-wing drift over the past, let's call it 5 to 7 years. But for some reason, lots of people talk about who owns the New York Times, the Washington Post, and Jeff Bezos, or the Rupert Murdoch's empire. For some reason, nobody talks about the wealthy person who owns the LA Times and understands or looks at why it has taken a left-wing drift. And makes a connection between the owner, a guy named Patrick Soon-Shiong. He's a doctor, biotech entrepreneur, net worth claimed to be in the range of $8 billion. He bought the LA Times. He also owns a piece of the Lakers. Clearly a guy who wants to be involved in, significant LA civic activities. And he has a daughter named Nika who fashions herself an activist. And a Politico article came out last week about how some of the reporters at the newspaper are not too happy about, Nika's involvement and how she seems to be having an impact in pushing, and furthering that leftward drift of the LA Times.
Yeah, well, I was just in here. Garagos was marveling at the fact that Sheila Kuehl, who is our council person or one of the Yentas,
Board of Supervisors,
ruining Los Angeles. Yeah. She's the one who shut down outdoor dining and then went out to eat outdoors at her Italian spot that afternoon. One of those fucking Yentas that's trying to destroy our city.
I believe her home was also raided recently.
Yes. Guess who tipped her off? The LA Times. So the LA Times told her, you're going to be raided.
That was nice.
Maybe a day before the raid. I don't think that's what we want from our newspapers.
No.
Not sure if they would have done it for a Republican if you could find one. Maybe they have to go to Orange County to find one. But I'm just saying, I've said in this podcast many times and in front of God and Mark Garagos, which is, I don't even like the practice of newspapers endorsing candidates, because once you've endorsed a candidate, then it makes me it's hard to read the anti-article that you wrote against the person who's running against the person you endorse. I don't want baseball umpires endorsing teams. I don't want newspapers endorsing candidates, because then I got to read the op-ed piece about how Larry Elder is the new face of white supremacy. He's the black face of white supremacy. And I go, I don't think I believe you. I think you just endorsed Gavin Newsom and you're writing this article about the guy you don't like. It doesn't feel like reporting to me.
Do you remember, sorry to interrupt, remember when USA Today used to have the coaches poll? I don't think they still do, but it was the top 25 college poll, and it was by the coaches. Of course, it was by their staff or their assistants, but the argument from my dumb friends was, who knows more about football than the coaches? It's like, you don't think they have a stake in the game? They're watching other games all Saturday instead of
a bit of a conflict
preparing?
of interest there, right?
It's absurd.
And so interesting that you mentioned Sheila Kuehl, and interesting that you mentioned endorsements. So Sheila Kuehl's political career is over in about, in a few weeks. She's her position on the Board of Supervisors up. She's not going to run again. She's gone. The seat is open, and it's an important seat because right now there's, you want to find an LA Republican. Pretty much the only one is Catherine Barger. She's one of the members of the Board of Supervisors. Another member of the board.
She may have nominated Dr. Drew to be on the homeless committee. And then, of course, the LA Times attacked Dr. Drew. God forbid we get a physician involved with the homeless situation whose specialty is addiction medicine specialist. But anyway.
Yeah. So you've got Barger. You've got Janice Hahn, who is a Democrat, but somewhat, relatively more moderate. The other two, Holly Mitchell and Hilda Salas, very left wing. So this third seat is very important. The race in the third seat on the Board of Supervisors is between Bob Hertzberger, former head of the California Assembly, moderate guy with a long career in California politics, and pretty well-known guy. He actually is the leading candidate. His competitor in that race is Lindsay Horvath. Lindsay Horvath is on the West Hollywood City Council. Lindsay Horvath placed Gina Soon-Shiong, the daughter of Patrick Soon-Shiong, the owner of the LA Times, on the Safety Commission of the City of West Hollywood earlier this year. Who do you think the LA Times endorsed for this seat?
All right.
Hard to say.
Yeah. Hard to tell.
What a shocker.
Right.
Does Nika have an official position at the LA Times? Is she editor-in-chief?
So technically special advisor, but part of the...
She's calling a lot of shots.
Right. Part of this article, and it's all unnamed sources because, hey, you're not going to speak out against the boss's daughter on record because you're going to get fired. Right. And this was revealing of the stories that she has interceded in, the pressure, where obviously within a newsroom, there's going to be pressure coming from a couple different directions. And Nika's defense is, well, I'm not running the LA Times. See, there are these other reporters there that share my views, and you're trying to give me credit for the work they're doing. Well, clearly, those reporters who share your views will push more weight internally if they know that the boss's daughter is also vocally on their side and is part of the equation here. And that's part of what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's a general overall theme that we touch on all the time, which is I got COVID tested to do Peyton Manning's show here the day before the show. And then when I showed up to the set, I was COVID tested again. And I said, what are we doing? And they said, I'm doing a second COVID test. And now... I've been on enough of these sets. 63% of the people who work on it think it's bullshit, but they can't say anything because they understand what would happen to them. It's not spoken. They don't go, here's an email. I'm going to distribute it throughout the entire group. It's what would happen to you if you went this direction on this subject. It's understood, and they want to keep their jobs. And that's what gets large groups of people to do super shitty things because, as we always talk about, most people are in the middle. They're not excellent. An excellent reporter says, fuck you, I'm writing for Substack. I have my dignity. But most people are in the middle, and they go, I got to keep my job. I got a fucking mortgage over here. So then they get which way the wind is blowing by what the politics of the boss is or COVID or whatever it is, and they go, I'm going that direction.
Yeah, and you're seeing it there because even at the LA Times, certainly even, before this recent phase or Nika's involvement, relatively left-wing, but clearly there's some reporters there who want to report honestly on crime and criminal justice justice and public safety in Los Angeles. But every once in a while, they'll get a pushback from Nika that, hey, why are you highlighting this crime? It was just some rich person who got their got their watch stolen or God knows what. And this forwards law enforcement's narrative. And I mean, she's pretty transparent about this, that the law enforcement narrative that there's a criminal justice or that there's a public safety problem in LA recently is a false narrative. It's Republican right-wing fear-mongering. And there will be pushback from Nika and her minions at the newspaper for writers who want to report honestly on crime and criminal justice in LA.
Yeah, so my feeling is, big picture, I don't get how it works out financially for the LA Times. You know, CNN is kind of shuffling the deck now. They're saying, look, we got too hard with the Trump derangement syndrome. We need to tack back toward the center. We need to get some credibility back. I think other entities are adjusting that way. I don't get the business model of that. I don't get why your circulation is down. I know Dr. Drew. He's been in Pasadena and Los Angeles for his entire life. He's in his early 60s. Mark Garagos, same thing. Me, same thing. You take our combined, and everyone's kind of politically kind of all over the spectrum with those guys. Collectively, we've been here for 180 years. And if you said to any of us, would you read the Los Angeles Times to try to get any information about a subject, everyone laughs. They just go, fuck that.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the business model is the owner's so rich it doesn't matter.
Is that the business model?
Absolutely. And you're seeing that. You're seeing that across the board for God knows how many. And this is where I was coming from a little bit on this story and kind of trying to put some visibility on it, is that if a guy like this who's got $8 billion, and he doesn't care about losing $50 million, $100 million there, but these are vanity items for him, right? But the problem is these are also important civic assets because you don't read the LA Times and a lot of people don't, but a lot of people in our circles don't. A lot of people still do. And in terms of those endorsements matter a lot because one of Nika's, one of the other places where there's a conflict of interest, the LA Times endorsed this guy for Los Angeles controller. And he's a friend of Nika's. And this is a 31-year-old guy, Kenneth Mejia. And Kenneth Mejia is 31 years old. He had a CPA license that lapsed, wasn't even a CPA, and pretty much he has no qualifications other than being affiliated with a variety of left-wing causes. But he's good friends with Nika. He got the endorsement of the LA Times in June. He beat Paul Koretz by quite a significant margin. And Paul Koretz has been on the city council involved in LA politics for God knows how long, for decades now. Nobody had heard of this Kenneth Mejia guy, and all of a sudden he gets the LA Times endorsement, and he's the favorite to win. And you go look, and he made waves after he won the primary because a bunch of old tweets resurfaced about him calling Joe Biden a rapist and a racist, essentially, being not too kind about the police. He's unabashedly defund the police, considers the police to be a tool of white supremacy, quote unquote. And these endorsements from the LA Times, without the endorsement of the LA Times, he wouldn't have even made it to the final round, let alone won the primary.
I'm guessing you're not a fan of Gavin Newsom.
To say the least.
There's a clip I don't think we showed. I'll give Chris a few minutes to find it. But he was on a panel. I think he was being interviewed in Austin, I believe. And he was talking about why is everyone leaving California?
Yeah,
and,
who was in charge when this all happened? I got to speak with him.
He had a hot take on that and the border. I think Gary can find it.
And
but
aren't we not supposed to be going to Texas for business things right now? Isn't there like a sort of a little bit of a government ban on
shadow ban?
Yeah, on Newsom. Newsom was the one who said like, those are not friendly states, right? So we don't go there.
Yeah, every time.
Oh, we did play this. We did play the clip on this show.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, of the visas.
Wait, does this one look familiar? This is him.
This is him. This is him in Austin. Okay. Two people. Sorry, just the two people. He's talking about visas.
Yeah, every time there's a big national news story where some Republican governor does something that can be framed by Newsom as, evil, unfeeling Republicans, and it gives him a chance to nationally grandstand, he bans California state-sponsored travel to that state.
That's right.
Because it's so substantive.
Yeah.
One state that he banned it to was Montana. this summer he took a nice little vacation to Montana.
Yes.
Good for him.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Who do you think was paying for the security for his trip to Montana? That's state.
He
funds.
doesn't care about anything he says.
No.
He doesn't
Yeah.
believe a thing. If you think Montana's evil, then you're evil. It's evil. You don't go. You don't get into, well, who paid or who picked up the bill. You know what I mean? Like they're older. They're older Jews who came to this country. Sorry, Gina.
I was just thinking this.
No, this is going to
I
end up
was.
good for a change for your
good,
people.
finally.
They're older Jews who came here. And, people, they did okay and they had a business and someone said, buy a Mercedes. It's a high quality car. And they go, I won't do
Exactly.
it. I will not do it. It wasn't, well, I drove one, but I was driven in it. I had a chauffeur. I went to this place. I said, this place is evil. Montana's evil. Good. Well, I went there. Why? Well, I was fishing and hanging out, but I didn't spend any tax. If it's evil, if it's the Mercedes
You don't go there.
and your family went to the ovens, then you don't fucking read it. If it's a moral thing, then it's bad. You said it was bad, then you don't go. You don't get into semantics or nuts and bolts, or you don't beat us on a technicality.
Do you know how many times Berlin has been recommended to me for a stop on the honeymoon? And I said, not interested.
Won't
but
even
thank
listen
you.
to the band.
I know. Oh, I love Luftballons.
And apparently they were
Not
from
interested.
Anaheim.
Different band.
Yeah, I still one of those shocking. Wait, the false advertising on Berlin being from Anaheim.
But look, what Gavin Newsom, we always play the highlights of Gavin Newsom. He's nonsensical. That's the thing. Like most politicians, you can go, oh, he's full of shit, but I see what he's doing there. Gavin Newsom goes to places that I didn't know the human brain could go in terms of answering questions or challenges.
Yeah, and it seems to be, once again, because he's part of this California political system where he's insulated, he doesn't have to worry about getting reelected for a variety of reasons we can go into late, could be another conversation. But he keeps on trying to pretend that he has relevant things to say about national politics. But he comes at it from a California, he keeps on getting pats on the back from California-oriented voters. And recently you're seeing that some more national pundits like Nate Silver are just completely dismissing him and clowning him. I mean, there's national pundits are like, this is just embarrassing that Gavin Newsom seems to be preening to try to get more national news and kind of flaunt himself as the standard bearer of liberal values. Like, no, you just get elected because you're in a deep blue state, and you seem to be criticizing governors who are all the people from your state are flocking to. And it's like, it's just the most upside down inverted thing possible.
It's also a very kind of bottom line sort of mental math to do, which is whether you're talking about states or whether you're talking about taco stands, like you can badmouth the taco stand across the street till you're blue in the face. But if there's a long line of people waiting out front of it, at a certain point,
If they want it, they want it.
leaving is the ultimate vote.
Right.
It's like I nobody who left California wanted to leave. They felt like they were compelled to leave. And when you find this clip, Chris,
I'm pretty sure that's the video. He talks about the visa policies.
Oh, it's in here?
Yeah, this is the one.
Oh, well then I'm mistaken. I thought he was in front of an Austin thing. Well, let's see what he says. Sorry.
Are more people leaving California for Texas or leaving Texas for California? Well, we lost about 182,000 folks in the last census. But how do you explain that against the backdrop of those very remarkable statistics you just cited? Many factors, and there's been two deep analysis that drives the number one factor. The vast majority, almost the entire amount, impacted because of the visa policies in the Trump administration. I mean, our formula for success is getting first-round draft choice from the rest of the world.
The visa policy.
Matt's head's gonna explode.
First off, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. First off, the visa thing is national. It's universal. It can go to any state. California gets more tech guys, but Joe Rogan and Dave Rubin and Ben Shapiro and
Elon Musk.
Matt Fondelier.
Oh, true.
They didn't leave because of the
greats.
visa issue. I know many. This is the same as the homeless thing. It's like, do you know anyone who's gone, not here, left because of visa issues? Or do you know many people that just left because they're tired of this sort of overregulation?
Yeah, or the many young parents, because hey, my age group, it's a lot of friends of mine who've gotten married within the last few years. They have a child, ages 2 to 7. These are young families who are like, okay, this is no longer the quality of life here is no longer high enough to warrant me staying here. They're moving away. I remember during the pandemic, I was in Nashville. I spoke with a real estate broker. She's like, yeah, all 6 of my listings are young families from California. You see the same thing in Florida, Texas, Nashville, Phoenix. And the nerve of this guy, I mean, he might as well have said, like, Trump's visa policies, that has no bearing to the issue whatsoever by any stretch of the imagination.
I know that's why he's the ultimate in that he's nonsensical. Other people are bullshitters, but there's some connective tissue to the truth. There's something. He says bizarre things, and for some reason, nobody seems to be aware of that except for me and you. The rest of it gets a little further insane. And sorry, Chris, he spoke at some Austin event too, and I'm not sure what I was looking at with that. But anyway, he went on to then get into the border. Oh. So he transitioned into the border, not the moderator.
I really do though. Like I wanted Cory Booker to be president because I wanted Keegan-Michael Key back in the spotlight to impersonate him. I really do want Newsom to be president because this is the role Will Arnett was born to play.
Oh yeah.
I really, really need that.
Here's the rest of that conversation.
Many factors, and there's been 2 deep analysis that drives the number one factor, the vast majority, almost the entire amount, impacted because of the visa policies in the Trump administration. I mean, our formula for success is getting first-round draft choice around the rest of the world. I mean, we're as dumb as we want to be. This whole damn border debate is made up. It's made up. Where's Congress? Where the hell are they? They haven't done their job.
You know, by the way, when you're losing your own super liberal constituency is just staring at you like a fucking blathering idiot, like the 2 people's body language on stage is like, we brought you into our friendly confines, but you have to understand, we have to have the veneer of journalists here. You're saying fucking patently crazy things. We didn't ask you about the border. The border's made up. I find myself saying, I don't know what he's talking about. Does he know what he's talking about?
I think he does, and I think after the recall, I think he just got so cocky that he's a creature of the California political machine all through his career, and that was a test. Is whatever this machine spits out going to be able to withstand obvious decline in quality of life? And the answer turned out, unfortunately, to be true. So now he's getting sloppy. Now he doesn't care because he knows that he's insulated.
What can anyone here venture guess is why he then transitioned into the border and then he was explaining it's made up?
Absolutely. Because it's an issue that national Republicans, that the most prominent Republicans, Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis, were talking about, because there's a true border crisis that's going on in Texas, and Joe Biden being completely, utterly irresponsible with trying to, establish a sovereign southern border and all these towns in Texas, why you've got, 85% Hispanic towns in Texas all of a sudden voting Republican because they're like, okay, well, we didn't sign up to have refugee camps, right on our outskirts through no fault of our own because you want to show that you're not Donald Trump, Joe Biden. So essentially Gavin Newsom, and you go look at his Twitter, it's like 80% just mentioning other states. It's like, well, maybe if things were going so well in your state, you could be commenting on what the job that other people are doing. But like literally California has had net negative outflow migration 2 years in recorded history, and they're the last 2. Maybe you should, clean your own fucking garage before you go comment on everybody else's.
But again, whether it's the LA Times or Gavin Newsom or Sheila Kuehl or LA City Council, or whatever it is.
That's how this whole thing started.
What is the end game? That's the conversation I have with the Mark Garagoses and the Dr. Drews. I'm like, what is the end game?
Sure.
Just fucking chaos in the streets and 26% state tax? Like, where do we end this? Like, why? And then for them, why not tack back toward a sort of sensible middle where you're like, I'm for the LGBT community and I'm also for the police and law and order. Like, why does it have to be this sort of just crazy run off the tracks insanity? What's in it? LA Times, what's in it for you? What's in it for you, Gavin Newsom?
Sure. Well, I mean, listen, there's lots of theories on this, and I think lots of factors. But I think, Nika Soon-Shiong is actually a great kind of avatar for all of this, because what's hers, right? She's a trust fund baby who's, well-educated, all these lofty ivory tower academic institutions, and, telling herself that me, emphasizing the the interests of low-income people, taking a more forgiving attitude towards crime and criminal justice, being anti-police and anti-authority, lets me to pat myself on the back that I'm a good person, right? That I'm a compassionate, good, evolved, sophisticated person. Because that's in the media and in kind of elite culture as of recent, it's called the last 5 to 8 years, that's how you get applauded, right? It's the same thing, another trust fund baby in this regard. Alex Soros, everyone thinks, oh, George Soros is funding all. No, it's his son, Alex, that controls all the money. And he likes getting awards and plaques from activist groups because he gets to tell himself, this makes me a good person. And having to own up to some harsh realities of life, like, hey, these public spaces are not for homeless encampments. They're for law-abiding tax-paying citizens to enjoy. That sometimes requires you got to be not so nice to some people, unfortunately. And so it's easier to slant in this direction. And until there's consequences to it, electoral consequences, they're not going to.
But, reading the writing on the wall, I mean, I think in New York, and maybe it's outside of Central Park, Chris, you can check, but they're talking about just putting up tents now. They're going to build a giant, they are erecting giant tents outside of Central Park. And New Yorkers who like Central Park, even very progressive New Yorkers, they have a lot of that, not in my backyard. Like, you're losing constituency. These people are amongst the most progressive people in the world until you open a huge homeless camp in the place where they like to walk their dog, and then they start going, I don't know if I want to vote for the tent guy next time. I think I may go a little Rudy Giuliani circa early 90s. Like, that's what lick your finger and stick it into the air. I don't care how progressive you are. You don't want this.
Well, you think that there are these natural guardrails, right? And the ultimate example is New York with Giuliani. It got out of hand. It was becoming, a war zone. And so they elected someone who was going to be more, emphasize public safety. So everyone just assumes, and they almost assume, the pendulum always swings back. Well, apparently not. Because if you look at the primary results and how the LA elections in November is shaping up, and it's about to get worse, not better. The only city council race where someone won more than 50% of the vote, and thus doesn't even have to go to a runoff in November, Eunice Hernandez, not to fund the police, abolish the police. Okay. Oh, you're not familiar. Oh, and abolish
I'm not familiar with her name. Are you? I'm not familiar with her name.
No.
Yeah. Well, not to rag on you, but
Please.
This is it. Nobody pays attention to this stuff, and that's what I was trying to get to.
We do, and I don't know her
name. Okay, so I was trying to get to with the thread about Nika. I was like, how does no one knows that this person, this who owns the LA Times, dude who also owns the Lakers, is a multi-billionaire, and he has a daughter who's affiliated with radical left-wing groups that are, if you search on the surface, the ones that she's part of don't, they look like, okay, they could just be human rights organizations. Go one step further, and they're affiliated with accounts that are kind of proudly, Antifa light. Go check out an account called the People City Council, pro-abolitionist, anti-capitalist, and, the people behind the People City Council, they're just these hipsters out in Silver Lake who are super politically active, and you search far enough, you'll see pictures of them, a guy named Richie Sergienko, People City Council. You can see pictures of him and Nika Soon-Shiong at activist events together. And these are the values and these are the types of people that push weight and have power in California local politics. So that's one. You go look at who won some of these other city councils, finished first in these primaries. Aaron Darling, Mike Bonin, part 2. He ran for 2 weeks, but they just spat him out even after with all the bad will aimed towards Bonin. And Bonin's better looking, young, less toxic successor finished first in the primary. Another one of Nika's buddies, Hugo Soto Martin. Are you familiar with the clearance of the Silver Lake homeless encampment?
Totally. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Mitch O'Farrell, the city councilman, who was a pretty liberal guy, but who was took the track that Adam described. He's like, okay, something, I was more forgiving of crime and homelessness, but I see the problem got out of hand. My constituents cannot be subjected to this Silver Lake encampment. I need to go clean it up. And he went and cleaned it up. And they went after him. Oh my God, what type of fascist?
Was this the Elysian Park thing, or
I think it was Silver Lake.
Okay,
and
I thought it was a park, wasn't it?
It was a park,
okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is a working class community.
Yeah, they cleaned it up. Yeah, there's a fence around it now, but yes. I drove past that park at the height of its powers
3 months ago.
And you couldn't read the sign because people were using it because they had washed their underwear in the lake and then hung it out to dry over the sign. We're spiraling into some bizarro land that to me transcends. It should transcend politics.
Right.
What does look? You vote for this guy and I vote for that guy, and you want higher taxes and I want lower taxes. What the fuck does that have to do with us not being able to use our park?
Yeah,
that's where I'm at with it, like the basics.
And
yes.
then what Dr. Drew sort of trumpeted, and what I completely agree with, is obviously that's important. What about the rest of our quality of life? But I want better for these people than you do, apparently. I don't think it's right to leave somebody on the street. You wouldn't do that to an animal.
How about this one? Go talk, and everyone kind of says, "Oh, well, these people who are on the street, what are you supposed to do? We don't have housing for them. We have housing for quite a few of them, but in one regard, and the activists will go transparently say this: if you want public housing, if you want state-sponsored housing, you can't go shoot up, you can't go do drugs there. How can you tell a drug addict that they can't do drugs?"
I know they've gotten to some point. I feel like they've gotten this way with a lot of trans school kids, whatever. But they've just gone so far that they're just losing regular folk. Last question for you. And by the way, the tents are at Orchard Beach in the Bronx, not in Central Park, at a park outside the Bronx. Mm-hmm. 5 heated tents with 1,000 adults and as many as anyway. So whoever lives there and uses the Orchard Beach is probably not going to get the vote of whoever decided to put the tent up. So we'll just swing back to where we were in the mid 90s. Final question. So Mayor Karen Bass, and then we got Rick Caruso. So it's quite a contrast in styles. I'm always going to vote. I'm going to vote for the person who gets shit done, like who built the Grove, for instance, versus the sort of lifelong politician, especially from L.A., because you fucked this place up 10 ways to Sunday. I think she's in the lead. There's some,
but Rick is picking up some steam.
There's some. What I never get, what I don't get about just how fucking stupid residents of L.A. are is, would you like to try to change direction a little bit here? Like, all right, this guy, I know he's a white male and he's rich. I get it. But maybe he can impact things versus a status quo system person who doesn't, I've heard her speeches. She wants to reunite. She wants to get us together. I don't even know what the fuck it means. We're worried about crime and the homeless encampments. Why is that? Why is it attractive, and are we uniquely stupid in LA?
Well, but as of last week or the week before, at least she cares more about crime now because her house was broken into.
Yeah, after she wants, and that's what they do. There's nothing. Well, here's the weird contrast there, right? At the debate last week, they asked all the candidates, "What's one word to describe the situation in Los Angeles right now?" She said crisis. Well, okay, who's under whose watch did the crisis come about? Because you're the political machine that has been operating this city.
But she's a congresswoman, right?
Yeah, but she's everyone who's part of the local Democratic establishment. If it's other Congress people on the city council, they all endorse her. If you're part of an Asian American advocacy group that's like affiliated with the Democratic Party, who do I endorse? They all endorse Karen because they're the career path they're on is tied to the decision makers that support her, right? Sure. And Caruso is this guy from the private sector, and who's actually been involved in government a lot. Okay, he was on the police commission. He just come in. He's involved in government, right? So everyone who's got a voter roll, a voter list, an email list that can say, I'm a person that you looked. Same with the LA Times, they endorse Bass, right? All the people that you look to for political endorsement all endorse Karen Bass. And then Rick, it's actually kind of shocking he's even been able to, make the waves that he has. And let's be honest, it's only because of his money. And that's the interesting thing is like Rick might win. He has a shot. It's probably a coin flip. But without his money, he has no shot. If you don't have his money, you got no shot.
Yeah. It's funny. He has to run as a Democrat. And then her rallies, like, we're going to keep it Democratic. It's like, I don't know where the pride. Well, first off, he's calling himself a Democrat. So technically, and that'd be fine with me. Keep the Democrats as long as you don't have the insane shrews running the Democratic Party. But this bizarre message of like people who run things and have been in charge for decades, who run the LA Unified School District going, the school district's a mess. It's a mess. Yes, the city's a mess. Yes, the county's a mess. We got to keep it Democratic. It's like, well, who's been in charge? And then I don't get why this is a selling point. This is only a selling point to dumb people who have way too much pride.
Yeah, or just a lot of people, what I've noticed, because I've tried to get involved here, people don't pay attention. Even people who see eye to eye with us on a lot of issues and are aware, they don't know when the fucking election is.
Right.
They don't know which roles are important, and that's why I'm trying to tell people. Everyone's got their eyes on the mayor. Think his mayor's very visible, and Rick is a visible guy. It's like, guys, you better pay attention to what's going on with the city council races and the board of supervisors and the LA controller, because these things matter too. And like they don't pay attention. And just one last point, I think you find super interesting in terms of whether Democrat or Republican. LA in 2013 had experienced 13 straight years of drop in crime, lowest crime rate in 50 years, was the safest city in America of 2 million or more citizens. Who do you think was in charge at that time? The Democrats of LA, right? But they actually had basic common sense understanding and appreciation of law enforcement. You go read the article on this, and it's Democratic Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa speaking very glowingly about LA Chief of Police Charlie Beck and emphasizing how important the police are. So it's like, okay, it used to be okay. It can be done. So the idea that anyone who says, hey, the police might not need to take a more active role in keeping innocent citizens safe doesn't make them a Republican. It could just make them a Democrat from 2012. But that's not who's running the show now.
Yeah. God, I had one more for you. I will.
The Lamar?
I'll think of it. Well, yeah. That's true. Look, you can go back and look at Obama in 2008 going, we need a stout border. Yeah. We need to be a sovereign nation. We need protocols. We need stuff like something happened. And I feel like it's a minority of I feel it's the same way with homelessness. So there's a small group of super loud, super organized people that just hijacked this party, especially in Los Angeles, or the homeless situation, and somehow we're all bowing to the people that the majority of people really don't want to listen to, but somehow they've hijacked it. And good for them. I mean, in terms of, they got a hell of a publicist because they were super goddamn effective, because you've essentially gotten, let's just say, I'll put it to you this way. You like vegetarian quiche. The rest of the people that work at the factory don't really care for it. And you figured out a way to not only get it onto the menu, but enforce everyone eating vegetarian quiche and announcing they like it. That's pretty monumental. Yeah. They would much rather have a hot dog
Sausage
or a burger.
Crumbles in there.
Yes, they would. But no, you figured this thing out. Most people don't agree with homelessness. Most people are scared of rising crime. Most people don't like rising taxes and regulation. Most people don't like, the people who eat the food don't like what you're forcing onto the menu, but somehow you got them to do it.
Because
pretty good.
Imagine if there was one food council and the people who ran the food council had these outlier views, because that's what's going on in America and blue states in particular, is that you're right, it's a small band, but there's institutional capture. They've captured the institutions, so their views are amplified more than the average person's. And that's what we're seeing. What I was trying to highlight with this thread on, the trust fund baby who's may not be running the LA Times, but certainly pushes some weight over there.
Yeah, my last statement was when President Biden was on 60 Minutes 2 weeks ago, he'd announced that COVID was essentially over.
The pandemic's over.
Which I agree with. But tell that to Gavin Newsom, because we're still under emergency orders in California.
Yeah.
So the president says the pandemic is over. And then Gavin Newsom
not so fast.
Doesn't lift the emergency orders.
Does that mean relief funding is over?
And then he accuses Ron DeSantis of being a dictator. This guy's fucking out of his mind. It's not his fault. It's all you people who vote for him.
Fucking chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
Thank you.
You said that. Are you Jewish?
I am.
Good, because I could tell with the
Yeah, not a little
a
extra.
little phlegm in the hook.
That's right.
All right, let me tell you about Keeps. Over 50 million men in the U.S. experience male pattern baldness. In most cases, hair loss can be prevented and treated. Keeps, well, it's a simple, stress-free way to keep your hair. Convenient virtual doctor consultations and medications delivered straight to your door every 3 months in discreet packaging, 24/7 care and support. Keeps has a network of expert medical advisors, prescribers, and specialists as well. Low cost, starts at just $10 per month, and a treatment plan at typically half the cost of pharmacy prices. Prevention is key. Treatment can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so it's time to get going and act fast with Keeps, right, Dawson?
If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to KEPS.com/Adam to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's KEPS.com/Adam to get your first month free. KEPS.com/Adam.
Well, if you want to find Matt, you can check out his podcast, The Prevailing Narrative, and shoot him a tweet at Matt Bilinsky. And Matt, thank you for that very concise analysis.
Much appreciated. Glad to be here.
Ali Kolbert, very funny comedian, is going to be in the studio right after this.
Ali Kolbert on the Adam Carolla Show.
That was from Fallon?
Fallon.
Yeah, I watched it last night. Very funny
Thank
set.
you.
I mean, on the internet. Didn't perform it last night. Yeah, one of the jokes you brought up, nice to meet you. One of the jokes you brought up is being a lesbian and being in a sorority.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I've never
Gold
done
mine.
I've never done that math. You see, I've done the gay dude math.
Right.
Like, well, of course it'd be awesome to be gay dude and like be on the soccer team and then shower up with, just like I like women. I'd love to shower with a bunch of women. I'm just doing the math here. But I never thought about the female shower, the female sorority side of it.
Yeah. Well, they weren't into it. But, you know, you can always try, shoot your shot. But it's strange because the sorority girls are, you know, they're always saying, you know, we're sisters.
Yeah.
We're sisters, and you have a big and you have a little.
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of all a family. But
makes it gross.
makes it gross.
Maybe they thought this thing through.
Yeah. But yeah, go on.
Well, so here's a question
Yeah.
for everyone,
Let's hear it.
but Ali especially. If you're lesbian, so you're attracted to women, and you join a sorority, do you make the announcement, or would you do what I would do, which was a lot of, you know, drinking late night, hanging out, you know.
Take this bra off.
Someone needs a back
Restrictive.
rub. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Women are pretty flexible oftentimes
Sure.
sexually. Things could kind of slide into something.
Yeah, I would say, so now looking back, I should have just said, I'm a lesbian. And usually when you lead like so confidently that you're a lesbian with women and you kind of have some like big dick energy, you might have a chance to kind of get in there and slip through the cracks with some of these straight girls. But I was too confused at the time, so I wasn't even out as a lesbian. I was just confused, and yeah, the tequila method is amazing.
Sure.
What do you think? Let's see how this breaks down in modern times. In modern times, the average college female who's not a lesbian, does the average college female who's not a lesbian, what percentage of them would want to say that she had a little role with a gal at some point before, you know, moving on to marriage and kids and that kind of stuff? I mean, there used to be more of a stigma attached to it.
I think like 50%.
It feels like it is about 50%, right?
Yeah, I think totally. They're so demoralized, women now. It's got to be even higher.
I can't speak for now. I was in the Greek system in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was in LA. And at that point, I would imagine that anyone who knew at that point they were gay or queer or whatever, and in the Greek system, would have been a pretty closely guarded secret. You know what I mean?
For a gay guy, or
yeah, no, for that person. Yeah, there would have been some stigma or some shunning,
male
some judgment,
or female.
Male or female,
Yeah,
okay.
Male, definitely.
Things have probably changed quite a bit, I would imagine, but at least back then it would have been a thing you kept to yourself.
Sure. I mean, there's still a lot less room for men to explore without judgment or get drunk and, oh, I got drunk and I gave him a hand job. Like, that would be weird if I heard that from a guy.
And a turnoff.
Yeah, it would be a turnoff. I mean, it's unfortunate. I don't mean to, but
they
that's
talk
how
about,
it is.
you guys complain about the double standard all the time, but what about this one? That's not working in our, like, this guy jerked off this one guy at camp a long time ago. Like, every chick, if I was with her, go like, ugh, no, we're not fucking for 6 weeks.
No,
like,
women aren't into dating bi guys, but guys love dating bi women because it opens the door for a threesome, I think, for guys.
Sure.
Or
as a woman, you can say, I was with another woman, but I'm totally straight and people believe you.
I don't think we believe bi guys.
We don't.
We think, Elton John was bi for a while. You know what I mean? It's
Freddie Mercury had a wife.
I used to say on Loveline many years ago, it's sort of bi is gay with a publicist. You're kind of passing yourself off as this, but I may be back, but it's like bi is
bye.
Bye-bye, vagina. Hello, cock.
I have trouble with this because as a gay...
But a woman could probably... I tend to believe a little more. I want to believe.
This is the way we think about it. But when you think about, like, taking a dick in your ass is more of that's a bolder choice.
Oh, let me get my steno pad out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, did she claim? No, taking. No, it's
like catching a finger could be a lot more casual.
No, I agree. It's basically no. It's sort of it's a pot committed. We're all in.
Sure,
you're in.
But this is called bi erasure.
It is. Oh, is that what we're doing?
No, like that's what
minimizing
I'm
the
just
bi
saying. Like
experience.
the people that are fans of mine will say that's bi erasure.
But the band Erasure's probly bi.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're thinking about it for sure. Someone's got to be bi in that band, Erasure. Oh, baby, please, a little respect. Yeah, bi, maybe bi gay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. The other thing too is with all the transgender, all the people that are identifying as something else, are we even in a world where we can define what is a lesbian act anymore? Because you could be with someone who's a woman who identifies as he, she, or something, or he, it, or them, or whatever the fuck their pronouns are. And then is it that then anymore? Because if the notion is the new world order is I identify as this, thus I am, then are you even in a lesbian relationship with that titty and vagina person who identifies as a male?
That's tough. That's a tough one. How about Demi Lovato? Demi Lovato goes to they, them, and then now she said, I'm feeling she, her, I got to go back.
Yeah.
I'll alert the press.
They did. She did.
She did.
Erasure singer Andy Bell is gay.
What?
Now, he's gay. Is anyone else? Oh, yeah, he's gay.
yeah.
Anybody else?
Well, it's a duo, so the other guy.
Oh, well, then they're bi. Well, is the other guy gay?
Are they
Not
each
gay,
half
no.
gay?
Well, then he's not gay. Then it's a bi group. As
yeah,
I
together
stated.
they're bi. Yeah.
Well, that's the band, Erasure.
Yeah.
They're bi.
Combined, yeah.
I called it.
Yeah.
I'm technically right. In the
Yeah.
eyes of God, they're a bi group.
Yeah.
All right. Could you do the math on Culture Club? Let's see if they're bi. Because I'm not sure
It's
about
right
the
in the
black
name.
guy.
Boy George.
I got him, but
Yeah.
if there's a majority of straight guys
Right,
in the
yeah,
band, then it
right.
can't technically be a bi band.
That's true.
So
We're doing the important work today.
you
Yeah,
were
no.
you didn't even know you're a lesbian when you were in college.
Well, I kind of had a sense, but I wasn't out. I wasn't like, "Hey, I'm gay." I didn't say it to myself, let alone this sorority chapter. Mm-hmm. I needed to kind of do some. I needed to gain evidence.
You were on a fact-finding mission.
Totally.
And as far as trying to think, dudes trying to turn lesbians around, is that a thing?
Oh my God.
Or
of
is
course.
it more women trying to turn gay guys around?
Yeah, right.
Doesn't exist.
There's no woman who's with a gay guy at brunch and they're just getting wet for him, being like, I wish he would fuck me. I think
no
girls
sense
do
of challenge.
No, girls do the thing where they get drunk and they ask their gay best friend, would you sleep with me if you're straight?
Oh, right.
You know, but there's definitely straight men. I don't know. They don't fully process that you're not into them.
Mm-hmm.
And like my girlfriend is very feminine looking. So when we're out, people are like, oh, there's no way you guys are dating. They immediately assume friends, sisters, anything but lesbian. And I'll say we're dating, and people are like, okay, yeah.
Because she's sort of very feminine.
Yeah.
And has the appearance of a straight woman,
Right.
whatever that is.
Yeah, exactly. So you wouldn't see us out and think, oh, they're fucking.
Is there pressure in the car buying world? Gina drives a Subaru.
I do.
And, there's certain cars that certain cultures drive.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to fly under the radar, maybe this is a tell,
Sure.
Do you have thoughts?
Subaru is traditionally a lesbian car.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a big. I don't really have many. That's not my main trademark as a lesbian. Would be the Subaru.
But it adds up.
It adds up. Sure, you could
We
tally
keep
things
score.
up. Yeah.
What is your main trademark?
I would say that like when you hear like people will say women, straight women will usually because I really am attracted to straight women.
Oh, Gina, hide.
I love you for saying that, but I have lots of gay friends, and
You have exclusively gay
thank
friends.
you. And many of my gay male friends are like, why do these straight dudes flatter themselves? Like just because they're straight, they think I want to fuck them. Like
Totally.
it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I get that. I do like straight women. I often find straight women like me. I would think my biggest tell would be like in conversation with straight women, they're like, oh, you kind of have big dick energy.
Now, you say you like straight women, but it's
Yeah.
not because they're straight,
Well,
or is it?
I don't know. It kind of adds to it, like the unattainability and like straight women are just, lesbians. When I think about a lesbian, I'm not like, wow, they're so hot.
Yeah.
Usually, like straight women they're just like they're sexier. They have and lesbians you're gonna get upset, but lesbians are always upset. But lesbians we're not known for look how hot we look and think about Queer Eye.
Who do you guys have? Portia de Rossi? Like, who's your Mount Rushmore of hot lesbians? And is she really a lesbian, or is she just like living in Santa Barbara? 7,600 square feet.
Well,
you
what's
know
the
what I mean?
difference?
Yeah, like I might go gay for that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we have Kristen Stewart.
Oh yeah.
We have Miley Cyrus.
Is Kristen? She toggle?
She
or-
just got married, didn't she?
She's married.
A nice
No,
lady.
she's
married a woman.
Yeah.
Okay, she's
Married
yours.
a woman.
Claim her.
But these aren't. You don't see we don't have really an ultra femme lesbian sort of president.
Mm-hmm. So you have Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus. Is Miley Cyrus full time now?
I
She
think
was married to one of the whatever
full-time.
brothers,
Hemsworth?
right? Hemsworth brothers.
Yeah, I think I would say Miley Cyrus is queer. Identifies as queer.
Should we blame the Hemsworth brother for? Obviously, he didn't help.
Yeah, I mean, look, Miley Cyrus. She had a really hot girlfriend for a minute who was Brody Jenner's wife. Do you remember that?
Wow, so much. I feel like there's a lot of flexibility in the feminine world, and then I feel like Hollywood really limbers them up.
What about Amber Heard?
Amber Heard.
Yeah, because it's just like not only flexible, she identifies as queer. So says the internet. Whoa, then queer. Well, what is queer then? If you're female and you're queer, doesn't
You're
that make
asking
you
one
a
person.
lesbian?
I mean, I think it means I'm not exclusive to sleeping with one type of person.
Oh, is that what queer means?
To me, anyone else here?
I thought it was more of an umbrella term, like it covered a lot of
You cover a lot of
variations.
Well, queer was just another word for gay.
Right.
My
Back
entire
in the day, yeah.
my youth.
Okay, I think now, Adam, I think queer has a broader definition these days.
You don't conform
It's
to
an
the-
umbrella term. All right.
That's what I thought. That's what I
Hey,
understood.
but can I just say this? Can we
Please.
make up new fucking words instead of transitioning words that were already kind of cemented in my
Sure.
psyche?
I
You know
think
what I mean?
so.
Because I get confused because from 0 to 46 gay and queer were just, if you said queer, you're
Interchangeable.
just being nice. You didn't want to call a guy gay guy or whatever. So you just go, he's queer. That was it. And then we transitioned it into meaning something else, but that's fucking with everyone over 40. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Come up with a new word
What should it be?
that means something. Let's call it seesaw. You just
That's
it goes
not a
up
new
and
word,
go
though.
down.
That's
go
not
up.
a new
That's
word.
yeah, good point.
But when you said I was riding this guy, it was a seesaw. You know, you were not at the park.
Could be a teeter-totter, depending on where you are in the country.
Yeah, I mean, we
Sure,
got look.
but
There's
I
something
thought the whole
called
thing was we need a new word.
well, there's something called a batting donut. It's a weight you put on a
Yeah.
bat for the on. But no one ever goes, was it glazed or was it cake? We get what
I
it
know what
was.
you're talking
We get
about.
what it was. There's a lot of words that are out there, like twig. Isn't twig a gay thing?
Oh, a twink.
A twink.
A twink.
A
But
twig.
A twig.
But queer,
Super skinny twink.
But queer was co-opted. Queer was like, isn't that odd? Isn't that
Oh, it
queer?
did
Yeah.
start off as queer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Lame used to mean had a bad leg.
Yeah, bum pin.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, maybe I'll let you keep it.
Okay.
I'm going to have to get back to you.
So
I just don't wanna-
benevolent.
I don't want to
I
commit
know. I'll
to
take it back to the community. The straight guy said we could.
How was your family when you came out?
No, they didn't care.
Sweet.
My family
Nah,
didn't care.
You want them to care a little bit.
No, they didn't care. I did enough caring
But I'm
on my
saying
own.
you want them to care a little.
Sure. Okay. They were fine with it.
Eh,
What, you want them to have had a problem with it?
no. I'm
You
saying
do. No,
care.
you just
a
tell me the
little.
truth.
Concern. It's a little concerned.
Concerned.
It
No.
shows that they're invested.
No, I felt that they were invested. I had gave myself more trouble than my parents did about it. Mm-hmm. And I've dated people whose parents are like the worst about it. By the way, their parents are always liberal and like are always like, we love gay people, and then their own daughter comes out and they're like, a fine God.
Yeah. 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 If there's not in my backyard, not in my son's rear end.
Yeah.
I think it's
Not
how,
my son's backyard.
Yeah, that's how they
Exactly.
That's how that works. So your parent and look, what I'm saying is my family would have been completely cool if I was gay.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been a net positive.
A
Yeah.
net positive for them.
Sure.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, my grandmother,
Turned around a lot of opinions.
my grandmother was a very early adopter of the gay movement. I mean, she's literally in a book. I mean, we can find it, Chris. What the problem with Harry? I think it's called. There's a guy. His name's Harry Hay, sort of on the vanguard of the gay movement from the 30s, the 40s, or something like that. He was a dude. Kind of a weird dude, friend of my grandmother's. He'd show up at her parties. He'd be dressed sort of normally, but I think he'd be wearing like a big pearl necklace. And he was an antisocial dick, as all activists are. You think they're trying to move some agenda. They're really just fucked up assholes who got molested. Now they're taking it out on you.
Sure.
But my grandmother loved Harry because he was gay. He was the part of the movement, very early on. So my grandmother, my mom was very progressive. Like my dad wouldn't have cared one way or the other. The trouble with Harry Hayes, and I mean, she's in the book of the biography of the supreme gay leader from
Wow.
the 40s.
Early gay icon.
Yeah, and so she would have dug it because she was one of these people who liked to give her bona fides by explaining how many gays and communists she was friends with.
Same.
Made her the hip one
Right.
at the party.
Do you
so
think
that's the way
she was
liked-
bi?
Oh God! Now I got a picture.
Oh,
She had a little bit of that second wave feminism vibe with the work and the you get home and I want my dinner on the table.
She was very progressive and sort of Eurocentric, even though she lived in North Hollywood. And Bohemian, and I think she probably would have liked to have been bi, but I don't think so. Although Trudy Mandel and her used to sit pretty close together. Anyway, she would have liked it if I was gay.
Okay.
My dad wouldn't have cared one way or the other because it was like, what do I know? What do I care? And then my mom probably would have liked it a little bit too.
Okay, that's
So
great.
I would have got by.
What a shame.
I know. I fucking wasted
missed
it.
opportunity.
I wish I could
Yeah.
bequeath that to a guy who was struggling coming out to his
Yeah.
born again Christian parents.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad and I are even closer because I'm closer to, I'm all girls in my family. So I think he might feel like he has a little bit of like a son now.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny, but there's maybe something
No, I think
there.
we bought. He's like, women are crazy. I'm like, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Are you married?
I'm engaged.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well,
yeah.
that's exactly my question. What's going to happen with last names? How does that work?
Well, we figured. I have no idea how it works because I didn't know any lesbians growing up, and I don't know any lesbian couple that I'm like, oh, I want to be like them. We just figured whichever one of our parents like donates more to like.
Wedding.
To the wedding. We'll
Down
just,
payment.
We'll just give them the kid's last
can
name.
buy
like
the
a,
last
like a
name.
park bench.
Well, the
good.
father of the groom is usually the one who has to foot the bill, so you guys got to
I
declare
know.
major.
Yeah, that part, the whole thing, I'm like, I do a joke now on stage about how just like weddings traditionally, like marriage was a man obtaining property, and now it's just our dads trading property. And like we both have no value. I don't know, a lesbian wedding, it's kind of weird. Like I'm the boy one. I proposed, and like she talks about how she wants to wear a dress at the wedding.
Oh,
I don't know if I would wear a dress because I don't love dresses, but if I wear a suit, it's just gonna look so gay.
Yeah.
It's true.
May I recommend what
Yeah.
one of my choices were for my wedding? I too was into the pantsuit vibe, but I ended up going with the dress. I would have loved
You kind of are gay, huh?
a little bit. I would have and paid for my wedding. I would have loved a smart pantsuit with a train.
Oh,
how
that's
fucking
cool.
hot is that?
That's pretty cool.
Something to think about.
Yeah, I'll
As
consider.
far as entertainment goes, Indigo Girls, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Alanis
think,
Morissette.
look, if you got $6,500 laying around, I do think you might be able to get one of the Indigo Girls to come out.
Shut
Sure.
up. Maybe Amy. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, if she's local,
Yeah.
I think 6,500 would do it. Chris, can you find that book online? We should just get that book.
All right, I'll order
My
it.
grandmother
Dawson's got an audiobook.
My grandmother's featured in a gay book, so next time someone tries to give me shit, I'm just going to whip out
yeah,
that
you
shit
pull
and
it
go,
up.
yeah, you're so fucking progressive and high on your progressive mountain. Look at the shit my grandmother was doing in 1947, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, although I think that environment created a kind of a douchey attitude in my part because I realized what horrible people all those fucking do-gooders were early, and that's why I have no time for them.
Oh, okay. So that sucks.
Yeah, because they were like the most progressive people in the world. There was like, what about this group and what about that group and what about this group? And then at some point, their fucking maid or caretaker or gardener or something would go like, hey, could I get a raise from minimum wage to $7 an hour? They go, fuck off, Pedro. We're worried about the indigenous whatever group. And it's like, I was all misplaced. They
Totally.
never did anything for their own family. They never did anything for the people around them. There was this sort of mythical tribe where they could place their energy in some place far away.
Existential crisis.
Yeah,
Far
sort of
away.
station. You know, these people, they don't have water in Botswana. Yeah, the fucking gardener's going broke. Could you pay him? It's like they never got out their own checkbook.
Yeah. You know, liberals make it hard to love them.
Yes,
Well said.
and they were super, super progressive. Yeah, is that book available on Amazon?
It's ordered. It's coming Friday.
Sweet.
Prime shipping.
Used, I hope. I don't want to pay.
Wow. The trouble with Harry Hay.
That's not how I pictured him.
Yeah, well, if you
He
pull
doesn't
in,
look gay.
Well, yeah, I know, but he would wear later on. He would wear big pearl necklace over to my.
That's pretty cool right now.
Looks like he chose the wrong Holy Grail.
That's like the Pete Davidson Harry Styles thing, the pearl necklace.
Oh, he was early money on the fucking dude jewelry. There's Harry. That's the Harry.
There you know.
That's the Harry I know. He's wearing the Greek fisherman's hat. He's got multiple
Pens?
pearls and pens, and that's how he would show up. Just angry. I don't know. When did he die? What is Harry Hayes' thing?
Coming in tomorrow.
I want to know his bio. Anyway, that was when I was 11. That was my grandmother's claim to fame.
Wow.
She knows the first gay man.
But the first gay man ever, yeah.
That's what she said to
pretty
me.
cool.
I believed her.
He died in 2002.
Patient
age
0.
That's a good run.
90?
2002.
Yeah, 90.
AIDS finally caught up. So the wedding.
Yep.
Any planning going on? We have thoughts.
What are your thoughts?
You know, here's my thoughts on wedding.
Tell me.
I would not. A couple things. I would not sink tons and tons of dough into the wedding unless I was a property owner.
Okay.
That money needs to go to a down payment for a condo in Sherman Oaks or God knows where. It can't dump tons of cash and then go back to a rental.
Right. That makes total sense.
That's number one. Number two, if one does own property, like our own Chris Max Pat over here, he ignored my suggestion, but instead of everyone bringing by a crock pot or a toaster or what have you, a new juicer, you own a house. In his case, he wanted a deck on the back of the house. The deck would cost $8,500 to have a professional come in there and build a
More than
redwood
the Indigo
deck,
Girls.
or $14,000 or whatever it is. Tell everyone contribute to the deck fund.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a great
We'll
idea.
put you down for $100, but if you got a little extra rolling around, put you down for $500. And let's get this couple this deck built in the back of their home that they can use versus, the crock pots and
another throw blanket.
Another throw blanket.
Ooh,
Totally aligned on that. You don't want to sink money into the wedding.
Same principle, fertility treatments.
Fertility.
Oh.
So what am I doing? I'm having a wedding to raise money to fucking have a kid? This sucks.
Freeze those eggs.
Do you own property?
No, I don't own property.
All right. Well, that answers the first question.
What am I? So I don't own property, so I'm raising money for a deck?
Well, not you.
I think you got it right.
You're a renter.
Yeah, I'm a renter, so keep the wedding small and have everyone donate plywood or freeze my eggs.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got it.
You got it.
Romantic.
All right. Yeah, no, it sounds amazing. I'm really excited.
And what about kids? Have you guys discussed this?
Well, so Julian, my girlfriend, who by the way is a huge fan of yours.
Oh.
She was like freaking out. She really wanted to come here, but she was too busy.
Does she know I know Harry Hay?
I'm gonna tell her. She's gonna flip. But she really is ready to have children, like tomorrow. She's older than me.
How much?
8 years.
Okay, so it's go time for her.
Yeah, it's
You're
go time.
29.
I'm 29. She's like ready to get started. We're doing
Right.
egg freezing. We're doing that.
Understandable.
So
who's both?
No, we're freezing her eggs. She
Well,
would
she
carry. I don't want anything to. I don't want
We
to carry.
heard what she looks like.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, you're
Hot.
not chopped liver, but
She's good.
I haven't seen her. She's a fan. So she's a genius.
She's a
and
fan.
She's obviously aesthetically pleasing.
She's aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, let's throw up her nudes. I don't need to I don't need my eggs to be involved. I don't feel like I need to make another me.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's use her eggs.
Yeah, let's use her eggs. She's better.
She got
off.
good height.
She's got a normal height. She has a normal mood disposition. She's not a comedian. It's just better for us to kind of work with that material.
All right. So start with those eggs.
Yeah, but then we have to do this. We have to find sperm. So if you have any thoughts.
Well, she's a fan.
Well, what about what Melissa Etheridge did?
I'm 6'2".
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're Jewish, aren't you?
No, everyone. Oh, we're looking at her.
boy.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
very
there's Jules.
attractive. Yeah.
That's Julian.
Ooh la
Yeah.
la.
Good height.
Yep, good height.
Nice teeth.
Yeah, they could go full Crosby and get yours.
Yeah. I'm a creative.
You are a
know.
creative. Don't your swimmers stop at a certain age? Don't they stop
Dare
swimming?
you?
I don't know, man. I was looking down in the shower the other day, and I could fucking swear when I was doing the backstroke. Like, I think mine are moving. Mine are mobile.
Oh wow. Okay.
I've been tested.
What
That's
for?
true.
What?
I've had my sperm tested.
It's it's health.
Well, they test your sperm.
Fertility.
It's vigor.
Yeah, they want to know two things. They
Gusto.
want to know. The sperm's dyslexic, so I don't know. They would test your volume, like how much sperm per whatever.
Yeah.
And then mobility.
And yours are very mobile.
Through the roof.
A lot of them.
Mine are mobile.
They call that motility.
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 Motility. Yes.
Can
whatever
I
reason.
ask when you took that test?
2001. So it's been a minute. But you should see my balls. I swear to God, they keep getting better with age.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm saying I want to throw my hat in the ring. I'm not
Maybe we
saying
should
I'm
be
not asking you to
talking
make
to
a
Julia.
decision.
Maybe
No,
we should have it.
I'm gonna. Honestly, we're gonna.
She's a fan.
She's
so
a fan.
She's already in the tent.
That's basically
She's in
what
the
she
tent.
told me. She
Yeah.
sent me here. She was like, "And ask about the sperm." 20 minutes
Yeah.
into the show.
Yeah.
And are you going to try and get all involved? Or are you going to let them raise their kid?
No, you can have them. I'll give you my kids. Let's just take them.
Would you, if you give us your sperm, would you want to meet the kid, or would you want to see the kid once every few years?
No strings attached. I'll sign any paperwork you want. But there's a caveat. Yeah. I am kind of old school. I don't do the beat off into the beaker thing. I do it sort of au naturel.
Okay. Yeah.
Handmade style.
Yeah. Exactly.
However many times it takes is what it takes.
Sure.
Business is
Praise
business.
Be.
You know
Praise
what I mean?
be.
Blessed be the fruit.
Blessed be the fruit.
I'm just saying, you obviously have a list. I'd like to be on it. That's all. We don't have to get into it anymore.
You're on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they Crosby, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Melissa Etheridge.
Melissa Etheridge. We're not going to be the first.
Right.
High profile.
Yeah.
Is your wife to be?
Mm-hmm.
What's she like? She's not in the arts. She's not a comedian.
She's in the LA wellness world. She's like a yoga person.
Flexible, good. No, I mean for the kid.
Yeah, she can always run after the kid and get the kid. She, I'm the first woman my fiance's ever dated.
Ooh.
That people always have a reaction to that.
So you've been together for how long?
2.5 years.
So she was the ripe old age of 34 and a half when she met you.
Yeah.
And with men?
And had only dated men before.
Wow.
So
did she see you at a club? Like, did she see you performing?
I performed at an event that she hosted.
Wow.
Why don't you tell her to come out and watch me do stand-up? I'll be at the Hollywood Improv October 19th, and then afterward, we'll see about the whole semen thing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. You a little worried that it's been a lot of years and that she might drift back toward the other side a little?
Nah, I'm not that worried about it. I don't feel that. No, I don't feel insecure about it. You think I should?
I wouldn't say insecure. But I would say she has a track record of a certain direction.
Sure.
I guess it'd be like, let's just say she started liking boys at 15 or something.
Uh-huh.
And then at 34, she, stopped the boys. But
I don't know if it's like that, though. I think it's more...
Let me finish the analogy. She got 20 years of digging the dudes, and now not so much. Now, I'm saying... If I was with someone, and then let's say they were on heroin for 20 years, and then they just stopped, and then someone said, "Aren't you kind of worried that they might?" I wouldn't go. I don't have a care in the world. I'd say, like, that's something to think about.
Yeah, and I think that
not trying to suggest.
Yeah, they might lapse back in a throbbing heroin.
That analogy is flawless.
Thank you.
It's perfect.
That's kind of what I do. That's why she's a fan, is what I'm saying.
Shit. I'm not going to let her listen to this episode.
All right, you're going to hang out and do news with us?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let me tell you first about Concrete. Oh, man, this is good stuff. Your body makes about half the creatine it needs. The other half comes from your diet, but of course, most American diets are low in creatine-rich foods. Concrete patented creatine HCl is the favorite creatine of elite, well-informed athletes, the number one bioavailable creatine and the only microdosing creatine. Just one small scoop per 100 pounds of body weight will do you. So 200 pounds, put 2 small scoops in, shake it up. It's got a nice lemon flavor to it. You will feel the energy immediately upon drinking it. Creatine is required for functional energy in every cell. Your brain uses about 20% of the creatine in your body. Immune cells need it to protect you. Lung cells need it for oxygen, and your heart cells need it to pump. It is creatine. It is concrete. Right, Dawson?
Take control of your health, both body and mind. Build a better you with Concrete. Register now at con-crete.com/podcast. That's con-cret.com/podcast for a chance to win a $500 Walmart Visa gift card, available now online and in-store at Walmart. Concrete is truly life-changing and performance-enhancing.
All right, quick break. Back with Ali in the news right after this.
Well, let's put aside politics for a second and talk about how Florida's underwater. Their residents are bracing hard. Frankly, by the time you hear this, they have braced for Hurricane Ian, and major amusement parks are no exception. So Disney World, done, closed, instructed its hotel guests to shelter in place because it's fast approaching. All of Cuba got their power grid knocked out.
Oh, they have power now.
They did. for a hot minute. It is coming that way. So Magic Kingdom, Epcot, all that shit.
With all the
closed this
Doppler
week.
radar and
Yeah.
all the technology now, they're tracking these storms a week out, right?
Yes, but the thing I was listening to today is they change course whenever they want to. So
but
they're
if
not
I
really,
lived in the area of Disney World
Yeah,
and
you'd know.
I had young kids
Yeah.
and I was watching CNN the night before, 5 days out,
Sure.
knew what was coming, I would announce to the kids, Saturday, we're heading to Disneyland, and I'd circle it on the calendar, and then I would do the whole act of God
That's good.
thing. What are you going to do?
Force majeure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let it go down in the record
No, you're
books
right.
as I was
I
planning
wanted
on.
to take you to Disneyland.
Right, yeah.
No, you're right.
Now, you were probably wondering why I was putting plywood up in front of the living room window
Taping
while
the windows.
planning my Disneyland trip, but
Well, when we're gone, I don't want to look into
cannot
this
say
Carolla.
I wanted to take you to Disneyland.
That's very
Or
smart.
Disney World.
Walt Disney World. So they've ordered evacuations of millions of Floridians. Most of them have taken it up, but of course there's those TikTok ones that are becoming really popular with like a girl saying she's going to stay home and quote thug it out and see what happens.
What does that mean, thug it out?
Anybody?
Yeah, what? Just rough it?
Yeah, just if I drown, I drown. If I live, I live. I'm thugging it out.
Well, that's appropriation. That's a cultural thing.
Could be. Yeah,
Well, she's black.
she wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she was culturally thug.
That's true.
Right. She identifies as thug.
She's going to thug it out.
Right. But most people, I think, have been leaving. Winds have topped out at 155 miles an hour. And I saw this clip. If we end up hearing that it was some sort of hoax or something, then fine. Worth playing. Sharks swimming down the street in Florida.
Wow.
Because if if the street's flooded, it's flooded. It's water.
Yeah, my problem with whenever this is crazy is shark
That would be a really
swimming down
good
the street.
fake because that looks pretty.
But
looks pretty real.
It's real.
The shark is in the street.
That's insane.
Yeah.
The thing about these kinds of weather events, as I was watching, it's wall to wall news, every network, person standing out, got the goggles on, the wind's blowing and stuff.
Sure.
It's compelling shit. But bottom line is, we're in Los Angeles. It's 104 degrees outside. It's dry as a bone. I don't give a fuck. I mean, take care of yourself, Floridians. But I don't want it to be wall-to-wall coverage here. And I realize it's not impactful to us. I mean, it's sort of the same way that when we get into our 110 degrees, scorching, whatever, all right, well, you live somewhere else. It's not going to ruin
Tell the
your
people in
world.
Newfoundland.
But we don't have weather events except for it's 117 degrees.
Right.
But on camera, it doesn't look like
No.
anything. Look, that
Right.
guy's wearing short sleeves.
She's in a street bikini.
Yeah. We have it bad too, Florida.
That's
Yeah,
right.
fuck you guys.
But we do very minimal coverage
Yeah.
on our shit because hot doesn't translate.
Yeah.
Just
Good
doesn't,
camera.
doesn't
This
look like
torture's not
anything.
cinematic.
This
No.
this looks very cinematic.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Telegenic.
wind and the things, and
Absolutely.
then they're standing outside, and the goggles are going, and the wind is whistling, But I would still say for the coverage, for folks who live here, let's lighten it.
Keep it
lighten
regional.
the load a little
Yeah,
bit.
I think so.
Keep it moving.
So there was a second Taylor Hawkins tribute concert, and it just happened Tuesday night for, of course, late Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins. He was honored, and everybody came out to perform. Miley Cyrus, Joan Jett, Brian May, even Dave Chappelle, and I'm going to show you that. This was the second one, and this featured Dave Grohl playing Adam's favorite song with his favorite singer, Joan Jett, doing Bad Reputation. Miley Cyrus performed with Def Leppard. Pink did Barracuda with Nancy Wilson.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Do we know that are these like Taylor's favorite songs?
Don't know.
Or just a tribute?
Just a tribute.
Because it seems like what's how did these songs come to be part of this thing?
Celebrating his life through rock music.
He was a Queen fan, and he was a very nice guy.
Brian May was there.
Very sweet guy. And he would sing a Queen song.
He sang "Somebody to Love."
Oh, right, you're right.
In concert.
Yeah.
So any Queen song makes sense. I don't
Yeah.
know about the others.
Alanis Morissette played with Chili Peppers drummer Chad Smith. Like, it was quite an event. It went to past 1 a.m. But the performance that fans are still talking about is Chappelle covering Radiohead. Here's a snippet of him on
Dave
stage.
Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Wow.
I
lit cigarette
don't think
as
he can
Chappelle is
sing,
talking
can he?
No.
The song was overplayed so much. But it's
Well,
incredible.
to that point, this is the first time he's done this. Looked into it. He also did Creep with the Foo Fighters in June of 2021 at Madison Square Garden. So this is like his thing with them.
I don't like this. I don't like when comedians try and become rock stars.
No.
Work Freddie Murphy.
He wanted to party all the time.
That's right.
That's right.
His girl wants to party all the time.
No, you know. Oh, that's right.
right, his girl
He-
wants to
His
party
girl
all the
wanted to party all the time. Okay. What he needs to do is he needs to get some professional songstress to do the beginning part of Creep, and then he kicks
Comes
in
in
with that,
chorus.
comes in
Right.
with the chorus. That's
Kind of
what he
like
needs
what
to
you
do.
did with Blues Traveler.
What are you talking about, man? I was up there fucking belting that
He
shit out.
he backed up John Popper on
Okay.
stage.
All right. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. I
Well,
bet your
that's cool.
significant other was.
Yeah, she would love that.
She'd love
Is
it.
there a video of it?
Yes, there is.
Oh, you made a big
Oh,
mistake.
please
my
pull that
lady.
out.
Moving up the list.
Yeah. Covering Big Bottom by
Spinal Tap.
Yeah. Yeah. So in front of a, wowed crowd.
Oh,
I'm
nothing.
sorry. You can keep going.
Yeah. Well, we'll get it when we get it. Big congratulations and a big mazel tov to the Baldwins because Alec and Hilaria have welcomed another child.
Oh, my God.
Another one. The 64-year-old actor, the 38-year-old yoga studio owner, confirmed last weekend on Instagram that the birth of their baby girl, Ilaria Catalina
Ilaria.
Irina Baldwin. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's Ilaria and Ilaria. So
That's what I'm saying.
that's how you differentiate. Baby's 6
Like
pounds.
Ivana and
3,
Ivanka.
yeah,
And what
that's
do
right.
they got? How many they got
They
now?
got a pack. They got a brood. They have
This is
7.
7.
So they have this new one. They have Carmen Gabriela, Rafael Tomas, Leonardo Angel Charles,
And Norm.
Romeo Alejandro David,
Oh, come on.
Eduardo Pau Lucas, and Maria Lucia.
She grew up in New Hampshire.
That's right.
Yeah, her claiming the Spanish heritage because she had a family
They
on
vacation
on
in Mallorca.
She's like, I've never heard of a tomato before.
How you say cucumber?
We don't have a word
How
for
do you
that.
say cucumber?
All right. Let
God
me
bless.
just say this.
I think only one of their kids, by the way, was surrogate. I think she's into
She's,
it.
Factory.
This is her. This is her thing. I think
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is her thing.
For sure, for sure.
I think someone, and maybe I'll blow a call into Baldwin and explain to him, which is, look, you're the progressive New York NPR brother.
That's right.
And then you have your born again Christian nut job brother.
Stephen.
Yeah. You're not supposed to be the one shitting out kids.
Yeah,
every 10
yeah, it's
minutes.
all about
He's the fucking nut
Yep,
job
it's
who's supposed to be
all
shitting
about
out kids every 10 seconds.
right.
You're supposed to be adopting
Right.
or what have you.
Rescuing.
Not shitting out kids every 10 minutes. That's the jurisdiction of the nut job born again Baldwin brother.
Totally.
Who you are not. You're
Isn't
the progressive NPR brother.
Yeah.
Isn't Stephen's daughter like a hot model or
Haley.
something?
Yeah, she's married to Bieber.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, Mr. Tan.
That's how you do it, Mr. TMZ. They've been going strong for not 6 years now.
How dare you.
Please.
Very precise.
I mean,
Please.
7 kids.
What does Steven have, Chris? Because who knows? Maybe he's on it.
Oh,
But I
wait.
don't-
And let's not forget about Ireland.
Right.
The OG daughter.
And
Is
he has
that
another one.
include in the 7?
No.
7 with Hilaria, and then the few that he left the mean voicemails to.
Right. So at least,
At least
Ireland. Yeah.
Ireland, yeah.
Wow, I got the whitest name ever, and then boom, south of the
transition.
border.
What are we looking for?
Stephen Baldwin's got 2 kids.
Well, who's the other? Is the other one just called Not Haley?
It's mean.
Oh, curious.
Yeah, Haley's the model. Who's married to him. You may want to check into her eggs.
Yeah, his other daughter's named Alea or Alaya.
Alaya.
Aaliyah.
Is she dating someone famous?
No, her link is not clickable on Wikipedia. So.
Boring.
Red flag.
Not hyperlinked name.
No.
All right, so you got the atheist brother with 8 kids, and you got the born again brother with 2 that he had 26 years ago.
Well, technically, I mean, not to stereotype, but they are Irish Catholics.
Okay.
But you have a valid point.
I know I did.
That's why you said it.
I don't think it's on him.
It's on her.
She's obsessed. Like the videos she posts on Instagram while she's pregnant, she'll post asking him for another kid.
Oh boy.
Oh really?
Wow.
Yeah. I think she this is her fetish or something.
my
She
daughter-
loves being pregnant. She's addicted to it.
My kid's eating a cookie and asking for more desserts. Like, finish what you got in your fucking mouth.
Thank you.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Addicted to being pregnant. I can't imagine.
It must be it has to be a distraction from something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all the I feel the same way about foot fetishes or serial killing. Like it's unimaginable, but
Yeah.
for the people who can imagine
That's
it,
their
they build a
thing.
world around it.
And maybe she just loves to show off how quickly her body snaps back into place.
Yeah.
Because she's a tiny little thing.
Yeah.
That's such a long game to play for that.
Over and over and over again.
That's wild.
Oh, is that the other daughter? That must be the other daughter.
Yeah, it is. That's a lie. She's also a model.
Good for her.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
God, does Stephen Baldwin ever not go full blue steel in a
I
picture?
know. Look at that.
Yeah.
He is
No
pouting.
choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's his move.
So I've been sitting on this story for a few days, and we've got to talk about it. So there's a major uproar in the chess world.
I heard about this.
Major uproar. We got to talk about this. 5-time world chess champion Magnus Carlsen has formally accused fellow chess grandmaster and Twitch streamer Hans Niemann of cheating.
I asked on Twitter, I posed the question, how does one cheat at chess?
I will answer that.
And
Don't you
I'm
say it.
sad
Don't
that I
say
asked.
it.
I'm upset that I asked.
And are now at the center of one of the chess world's biggest scandals of all time. So to give a little backstory, Carlsen, he's the one who accused the other guy. He's 31. He's the best chess player in the world. He's ranked number 1. Now, without offering details, Carlsen alleges that 19-year-old Niemann, who ranks number 49 in the world, has cheated more recently than he publicly admitted, adding that his progress in chess has just been unusual, the way he's been getting better. The accusation comes after Carlsen abruptly withdrew for the first time in his career from the annual Sinquefield Cup in St. Louis upon losing to Niemann. Now, let's get into the foul play. This has not been
Did
substantiated.
they say one move? I heard on some report.
I think what you're talking about is Carlsen, the guy who's accusing Niemann. He played one move into the tournament and logged out and said, fuck you.
Oh, one move into the
But
tournament.
let's get into the salacious rumor mill.
All right.
So there's theories of foul play, but the chess officials have not backed this up, corroborated anyway. But the theory that's being floated is that Niemann had vibrating anal beads up his ass, and he was getting Morse code cues on what to play next.
I think that makes him an even greater genius than any chess champion ever to have something.
Why are
up
you
your ass
wasting your
and
time with chess?
You have
You're
to
an evil, you're a fucking Bond villain.
You have to learn Morse code, number one.
You're a double agent.
You have to do it all in real time.
Yeah, and not react to the ooh.
But who are you taking your advice from who's better than the grand
Somebody
champion?
from number 2 to number 48.
Right.
That was
That's
my
a great-
question. Why
Yeah.
is this guy wasting his time sending signals? Get in the game.
I know. I did the same thing for the SATs.
Oh, I was
With the multiple
wondering how you
choice,
got
that would work.
score.
Yeah.
I saw your
One for true,
bio.
2 for false.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're getting multiple buzzes and you're asshole.
And you have to remain super cool about it.
Right.
Isn't it timed? It's you don't even have time to get
it might not be speed chess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my feeling would be if I tried it, it'd be how'd it go? I was confusing and I lost the tournament, but I came twice. So, I am going to try it again.
Yeah. I lost, but I was so hard.
But I'm still kind of a winner.
I'm going to practice a
None
lot.
of the other guys came barely at all.
That's a crazy season 2 for the Queen's Gambit.
Oh, yes. That would be fantastic. Well, this brings new possibilities to Vegas. Because people are constantly getting kicked out for little tappers on their legs and stuff.
Oh, yeah. And then what do we do when we catch whoever the culprits are? And
Shake
if they
their
don't get
hand.
any time, how pissed is Lori Loughlin going to be? Jesus Christ, I had to go into a fucking facility because I doctored a canoe picture. Just got to probe up his ass. Fucking ruining the sanctity of the game. He fucking walks scot-free.
You might like this, Adam. When I was in college, I helped kids write their college essays.
Oh, that's good.
Pre-varsity blues.
That may be a good argument for using your eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
What was your rate?
You're smart.
What was your rate back then?
What was my rate?
What'd you charge? They paid you,
page.
obviously.
Yeah, it was expensive.
Oh,
good.
Well, you got some IRS issues or something?
No, I was we're helping. I can't say more.
Okay. They
I'll be
donated it to
incriminated.
the human fund.
Let's just say the football team could
you
field
could
the
make
tail
good money
squad.
from that. You could make really good money from
You
that.
could.
There was a whole NYU crowd that would do it.
Oh, wow.
And they never recognized, like, one time I did well in it. One time I handed in a paper that was halfway decent. Once, like in high school, it immediately set off alarms. Like the teacher called me over, was like, "What is this? Who helped it? Come on now." What
Adam, how do you know what myriad means?
Well, yeah, what are we talking about here?
Did you do it?
Yeah, I think I did. I think I did do it, but it was actually semi-coherent and it set off alarms. So, but that didn't happen. Would you write in the style?
Yeah, well,
of the person?
That was
of the
I
dummy?
would try to. I remember some of the kids. Like I would meet with the kids' parents, and they would be like, "It doesn't sound like my son."
Oh, so they
I was
were
like,
all in
I'm
on
a
it.
lesbian living in Midtown. Like, obviously, this doesn't sound like your 15-year-old son.
Right.
That's crazy. So they all knew.
Yeah, of course. Wow. Yeah.
So they think maybe a probe.
Well, that's
but
the
why
rumor
why
going
is the
around.
number one guy walk?
Right. But he's pissed because he thinks this guy keeps cheating. He doesn't want to play him. And there's real money on the table for these tournaments.
But again, he still has to find a guy who's better than number one to buzz the buzzer for him.
And why doesn't he just think he's losing?
No.
What is it about? What's the cheating tip-off?
Think about this. Think of how easy Jeopardy is when you're sitting on your couch. But not when you're up there with the lights and the people. It's a different game.
Okay.
Something to think about.
No offense. It would be as though we were playing the Rotten Tomatoes game
Oh,
and Gina
boy.
was within 1 or 0 like 3 or 4 times in a row. I'd be like, something's what's going on?
A, that was hurtful. B, there was a summer where I got 3 in a row. C, I'm pretty sure you're the one who's cheated on games here and not me.
First of all,
Look, let me
that means,
let me
that
see
means
your
I would
asshole.
know.
I agree.
How
I'm
did
with
he
Brian.
come up with that anal beads? Claim?
Because the rumor mill is fucking awesome.
But think about what he would have to do to figure that out.
That's exactly right. Maybe
Yeah.
he's doing it anyway. He just realized this is a good way to win.
Yeah, and you'd have to learn the Morse code.
Right.
Again, you might
Must be
find the
bi.
prostate massaging enjoyable, pleasurable. Could lead to another.
Poker face.
It could lead to a whole gay life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I do believe that those toilet seats that squirt you in the
You're
ass,
gay.
they will turn you gay eventually.
You know what? I told you my husband won't use mine because he's afraid it'll be too delightful.
I'm saying that's where it starts, and
afraid
then
of a light
eventually
Yeah.
you
No.
need
You're
more.
making your grandmother so proud. She created this awesome legacy. You're just jerking all over it. For days will make you gay.
Eventually is what I'm saying.
Not once.
Not the first
Sure,
week,
sure, of
but
course.
eventually.
No, I agree.
All right. Well, you can't disagree. It's science. I mean, it's documented.
Yeah.
Studies out of Stanford. That book's coming Friday?
Yep. Friday.
What year's that book from?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy.
Well, he looked elderly in that picture.
My grandmother was so impressed that she was chronicled in a gay bio.
It's not a major publisher. Must
Yeah,
have been
who?
back then.
Who did it? Random Fist?
Simon and Keister.
I think it's published
Gina!
published in 1990.
Oh.
Sound right?
Penguin.
Allie, you want to get in on this?
Oh, Simon
I
and
was
Keister.
thinking about the penguin, but Penguin probably beat it.
Yeah.
McMillan fucked in the ass.
Fuck.
Fuck. Stupid.
All right.
I think we're good.
I think Simon and Pfister and
Simon and Keister.
Simon and Keister and
Random whorehouse?
Oh,
Not bad.
going in a
It's
different
not
direction, but I
particularly
like
gay,
it.
but it's what I can
Wait,
come
what
up
was
with
mine?
as fast as possible.
Random Fist.
Random Fist, yes.
okay. All right. What, 1990?
Yeah.
Yes, she was celebrated.
Good for her.
All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Taking a dick in your ass is that's a bolder choice.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
All right, Ali Kolbert, live dates. You can go to alikolbert.com and find out where she's doing stand-up all over the place in the podcast, the Ali Kolbert Show as well. Wherever you listen to finer podcasts. Meet the Hollywood Improv October 19th with friends up on stage doing stand-up there. And then we'll head to San Diego and St. Louis and Tucson and Tempe. Just go down Carolla. And let's see. Oh, Matt Bilinsky. That's right. The Prevailing Narrative. Check out his podcast as well. And until next time, this is Adam for Ali and Matt, Gina and Bald saying mahalo.